He claimed that he had video footage. He also claimed to have the real Kim Porter memoir.
Because my next guest just testified before a federal grand jury. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties.
All started with whispers, a story so outrageous, so dripping with tabloid fuel, that it felt almost too wild to be true. Sean Diddy Combs, the man who once reigned as hip-hop royalty, is now sitting in a Brooklyn detention center staring down the possibility of spending the rest of his life behind bars. This isn't just another celebrity scandal note. This is a high-stakes courtroom drama that has the potential to dismantle an empire, taking down one of the most recognizable figures. In music history, the charge is a storm of accusations that paint a picture of power and privilege spiraling completely out of control.
You're hearing about all these videos with celebrities, not going to be part of the criminal case. And
Cassie video.
The Cassie video is going to be part.
Right.
We're going to get to that in a minute with the jury. But what we did was, number one, we showed them the prosecution's case from one of our documentaries. And then we showed them the defense from the current documentary.
Diddy wasn't just a mogul. He was a symbol, a brand, a walking testament to the limitless potential of hustle and ambition, from the shimmering parties in the Hamptons, where the A-list rubbed shoulders in all-white ensembles, to the chart-topping hits that defined an era he was untouchable, or so it seemed. But behind the glitz and glamour prosecutors allege he was a darker world, one meticulously hidden from public view, where manipulation and coercion reigned supreme. And now the facade is cracking wide open. The courtroom has become a theater for one of the most jaw-dropping legal battles in recent memory. Diddy, dressed not in the orange jumpsuit of his current predicament, but in carefully selected outfits, approved by the judge, is fighting for his freedom. His legal team, a small army of high-profile attorneys, is spinning a narrative of misunderstood lifestyles and consensual excess, attempting to redefine the allegations as merely part of an unconventional private life. But the evidence, prosecutors argue, tells a different story. A story of control, intimidation, and a carefully orchestrated system designed to keep people silent. And then there's the video, the now infamous footage of Diddy and his ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura, captured by hotel surveillance cameras in 2016, has become a central piece of this unfolding drama in the grainy yet unmistakable clips. Diddy is seen chasing Cassie down a hallway, grabbing her, shoving her, and throwing her to the floor. The footage goes on to show him kicking her as she lies motionless before dragging her by her sweatshirt. It's stomach-turning, the kind of visual evidence that sticks with you long after you've looked away for years. This video was hidden, allegedly bought and buried by Diddy himself. But now it's out for the world to see, and its impact has been seismic.
There has been no profit motive involved at all. The last word is profit.
He's already rich.
So whether or not he had the freak-offs or he did whatever.
Follow the money.
Well, there is no money.
Exactly.
I mean, the freak-offs aren't okay, the way in which I read it, it's not an illegal business. A freak-off is a freak, or whatever these things are, right?
Wrong. That's my word.
But the profit, that last word actually got my attention, because I was like,
once. A rising star under Diddy's record label is no longer just a figure in the background of his glittering life. She's front and center, and she's not alone. The prosecution has lined up a roster of accusers, each with their own stories, each more unsettling than the last. Some have chosen to testify under pseudonyms, their identity shielded from the public eye, while Cassie has stepped forward unapologetically using her real name. Her testimony is expected to detail years of alleged mistreatment, painting a picture of a man who wielded his influence like a weapon. But Diddy's legal team isn't backing down. They're arguing that what happened behind closed doors was consensual, that the lifestyle he led was extravagant, but not exploitative. They've even gone so far as to frame him as a swinger, claiming that his actions were part of a shared understanding among consenting adults. It's a defense strategy as bold as it is risky, especially in light of the mounting evidence against him. The prosecution, however, calls it a smokescreen, a desperate attempt to divert attention from what they describe as years of deliberate and calculated harm.
I think one thing that I haven't heard said at this table yet is bribery. So he probably promised a lot of these people either fame, fortune, riches. Whether or not he delivered, I doubt it, but that's another matter entirely, right? So that's obviously, if he incentivized some of these people in order to participate in all of these things, that wouldn't surprise me at all. Is that a definition, or does that fit a definition of coercion in any way, bribery?
Let's not forget the cast of characters orbiting this case. The trial has already become a veritable who's who of Hollywood and the music industry, with names like Ye, Michael B. Jordan, and Kid Cudi appearing on a list of individuals who may be mentioned in court. The mere mention of these celebrities has added another layer of intrigue, leaving everyone wondering how they fit into this tangled web. Are they witnesses, victims, or merely part of the collateral damage in Diddy's fall from grace inside the courtroom? The atmosphere is electric. Prospective jurors have been grilled about their knowledge of Diddy's career, their opinions on the music industry, and even their tolerance for alternative lifestyles. One potential juror admitted to liking a social media post mocking the stash of baby oil reportedly found during federal raids of Diddy's properties. Another was dismissed after revealing they had seen the 2016 video and found it damn the selection process has been as dramatic as the case itself, with every question, every dismissal adding to the tension.
The big thing that is really interesting, and it's going to be a big problem for the defense if you look at this mock jury, the Cassie video. He is not being prosecuted for it. That's a state crime in California, and the statute of limitations is run. But I am telling you, that video was thunderous for a bunch of these jurors.
And then there's the evidence beyond the video. Prosecutors have hinted at a treasure trove of material, including surveillance footage, witness testimony, and physical evidence collected during raids of Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami homes. Among the items reportedly seized were over 1,000 bottles of personal lubricant, a detail that has become almost symbolic of the excessive and allegedly exploitative nature of Diddy's private world. The prosecution alleges these items were used during what they've described as elaborate and degrading performances. Meanwhile, the defense is working overtime to downplay their significance, arguing that they're being sensationalized to distract from the lack of concrete proof of wrongdoing outside the courthouse. The scene is just as chaotic. Fans, detractors, and the simply curious have gathered, turning the trial into a media circus somewhere. Puff shirts, a callback to one of Diddy's many monikers, while others hold signs demanding justice for his accusers. The lines between public opinion and legal strategy are blurring, with both sides attempting to sway the court of public opinion. As much as the jury itself.
We've talked about the fact that there's sometimes videos or photos or what don't get admitted to a case because they're
overly
prejudicial.
Right. This is getting admitted. Both sides.
It's definitely getting admitted.
Both sides agree it's going to be admissible. The defense has a hurdle to jump. I will tell you that they vote in the end, and the vote may surprise.
And yet, for all the noise and spectacle, one question looms over everything. How much of this was hidden in plain sight? Diddy's empire wasn't built in a vacuum. He was surrounded by enablers, people who benefited from his success and turned a blind eye to the rumors that have now become accusations. The trial isn't just about what Diddy did or didn't do. It's about the culture that allowed it to happen, the system that protected him, and the silence that kept so many complicit every day in court. New revelations emerge, each more shocking than the last. The prosecution promises to reveal footage that has never been seen before, evidence they claim will leave no doubt about the lengths that he went to in order to maintain control. The defense, meanwhile, is preparing to launch a counterattack, one that will challenge the credibility of the accusers and the integrity of the evidence. It's a legal chess game of the highest stakes, and the next move could change everything. You know, there's a short life in why do you think that is what the creative side is? Well, because losing out money, you got to take, you're going through so much to try and deal with life behind the courtroom doors. The stakes couldn't be higher, and the revelations more chilling as the prosecution and defense lock horns. The full extent of Diddy's alleged empire of control is beginning to take shape. And it's not just a story about power, but one of meticulous, planning devastating consequences and a culture of silence that let it fester for decades. What's becoming increasingly clear is that this trial isn't just about Diddy. It's about the rot at the heart of an industry that thrives on excess secrecy. Unchecked egos. The evidence being unearthed goes far beyond the freak-offs or the high-profile video footage that has already set the public ablaze. Prosecutors have quietly hinted at an arsenal of previously undisclosed recordings, documents, and testimonies that paint a picture of an operation so intricately managed it could rival the inner workings of a Fortune 500 company. They're calling it a systematic pattern of behavior designed to keep people submissive, complicit, and utterly dependent. And it wasn't just those in his personal circle who were affected. This web reached into every corner of his empire, from his record label to his clothing line, and even his philanthropic ventures.